Okay, so I'm not really prepared to do a well-structured film review. That is, I just didn't prepare one in advance, and my improv cannot uh, sound as polished as finely chiseled material. So, I mean, I've done film reviews in the past, and even though I sometimes put great care into them, I didn't necessarily think a lot of them. So it doesn't mm, seem to matter that much. Anyway, I know that I mentioned um, in some past videos that I've lost all interest in cinema. That I think whether I follow new movies or don't follow, the reward is the same, and it's a pretty slight one. So I just thought I'd well, even though the Playing It Cool movie starring Chris Evans, which I just happened to see yesterday, channel surfing on the TV, even though I mostly liked it, I still think it. I still think it proves to myself that I'm right in this overall stance of having stopped caring about cinema. But anyway, I think I should mention a couple of more general things before, because there's a film critic called Armond White who is sort of notorious for taking the kind of stances that he would he seems like just the type to take a film like Playing It Cool, which I assume didn't premiere to great reviews, that it didn't set the world on fire, but that it was treated like an also-ran movie. I I apologize if that isn't the case. I mean, I don't know it for a fact. I'm merely assuming it. But like Armand would be just the type to take a film like um, The Son of Saul and say that he considers Playing It Cool to be a superior movie to this. Um, no, I haven't seen Son of Saul, and I don't want to see it. So I cannot comment on which is better, but my own aesthetic opinions have become they've perhaps started sounding a bit like Armond White's, in that like the things that both the industry and the critical community to a certain extent, what they want to push forward as like what are to them blue chip properties, they seem usually to me to be pretty slight ones. And then sometimes the kind of lightly likable movies, even though they uh, the careless observer, they may feel like they are very slight efforts. Sometimes I see in them like this secret streak of almost impressive quality. And to me, the Playing It Cool movie sort of fell into that. Like, if somebody heard me say that, oh, I stopped caring about watching new movies, they would, they would push stuff like this to me, thinking that that those will change my mind. But let me assure you, those will not and cannot change my mind. Yeah, I just don't. All right, just don't. Uh, Perhaps I should give like the quickest overall view of what my what my relation to cinema still is. So films like this or this, I still like. I haven't stopped liking films like that. Then films like this or this, they're the kinds of films that I can sort of take or leave, but I'd rather not watch them. And then films like this or this, I'd just rather not have anything to do with. So anyway, as you might see, I intentionally picked something like one case which might be termed art and one case which might be termed popular entertainment. Obviously, those not reveal much, but I have already very much, I don't know, the positions of still greatly like, and then something I can take or leave, and then something I definitely want to keep my distance. My attitudes have very much solidified in those three main groups. Like, there's very little uncertainty which gives room for an opinion to form. Like, there's very little of that with me. I very quickly settle on some opinion, and then basically nothing will overturn it. So perhaps I've become a bit jaded or a bit tired, or I don't know what, but does the word jaded, in Shakespearean plays, in like Much Ado About Nothing, jade is an old horse. So to become jaded doesn't mean that you become an old, tired horse. Well, what great news then to hear that you've become jaded. Anyway, that's a possibility I'm prepared to face. But anyway, yeah, I just haven't been watching a lot of movies, and I plan on keeping up with that. I mean, to me, my whole problem with, if not cinema at last, then at least the kind of the people who think that they're representing the finer brand of cinema is because, like, to me it seems like Eddie Murphy, when he's bringing quality, it's in movies like Coming to America. But then what the Oscar people, for instance, think that if he ditches comedy and picks up drama, then if he co-stars in like a Dreamgirls movie, then he's bringing quality by merely being in a drama. But to me, it seems like the Dreamgirls type roles are the shallow contributions, and then the Coming to America is, I mean, that should be seen as his deeper contributions. And I feel like Armond, like, I definitely shouldn't speak for Armond White. He definitely doesn't want me to do it, and I'm not doing it. But I feel like people who get called as if they're like trolling with their critical opinions, people who would say that that like Big Mama's House, I mean, that's Martin Lawrence, but like if somebody would say that Big Mama's House is a better movie than Dreamgirls, their opinion would be dismissed as not that it's wrong, but that it's so wrong that it cannot be genuine, that somebody's just trolling. But I actually do sort of think that Big Mama's House is a better movie than Dreamgirls. I don't have anything in particular against Dreamgirls, but it is a somewhat tepid melodrama that has a bit of like really out of date razzle dazzle. I mean, it's it. You can say what you will about Dreamgirls, but you cannot say that it would be a career high for anyone involved. It's an also run property, and to me, it's just there's this mental corruption. Perhaps it's just the most genuine stupidity inside the industry, but the kind of attitude that Dreamgirls type movies are good and Big Mama's House movies are bad. Uh, uh, that's where I start heading for the exit. That it's not worth my while talking with people like that. Uh, so yeah, that's a big reason why I just had enough with cinema. And I feel like Armond White, for instance, is the kind of film critic who is there defending the quality in something like Big Mama's House. There was some Oscar bait movie. I forget which. I think either Judi Dench or some old school British actor was. I forget who it was, but somebody was in a hotel room and they looked at what's on TV, and then they saw that Big Mama's House is on TV, and then they were sort of patronizing Big Mama's House that, oh, we're so interested. Look, it's a small black guy pretending to be a huge black grandmother. What a cute little movie. Let's enjoy it. Like, I feel like the quintessential Armond White moment would be to say that, hey, look, you can try to act, you can try to act like, you're somehow part of the intelligentsia, or, you're some fine ass esthete, but like, you're less good than Big Mama's House, so get real. Like, I feel like that would be the quintessential Armond White moment, and it's actually a moment that I have to agree with. Like, every year at the Oscars, there's like some autumnal romance, or like some, like some Thelma and Louise 30 years later type movie. And like, I could write those in like 5 minutes, and I could do it because those aren't good movies. They don't ask for much talent. They don't ask for much daring. They don't ask for much involvement. I mean, they're just like really quickly thrown out in the, and unfortunately, to me it seems like there's an industry that's trying to artificially keep films like Big Mama's House down, and then artificially trying to elevate some sort of Thelma and Louise 30 years later type movies. And I just I have no patience with that stuff. So that's why I just, I don't know, have really just lost interest with the culture of cinema. But since I watched this Playing It Cool movie, I might as well, I don't know, try reviewing it a bit. I'm not caring to get too deep with the film, but more like just talk about my overall attitude. So, yeah, um, it's actually wait, Richard Donner was it? Wait, I thought Richard Donner was a producer in this, but I can see him on the credits. I can see him on the credits. That's strange. I mean, he's been involved with Shane Black. But anyway, I remember seeing a Richard Donner interview where he said that this Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that he thought that it was better than the stuff that won the Oscars that year. I actually also think that. I don't know what won the Oscars in 2006. 2006. Wait, was that the year before? I think the 2007, which had No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood and Diving Bell and the Butterfly, that was actually a pretty strong year. So as long as this wasn't in the running that year, but the year before, then yeah, probably would co-sign it. But anyway, like that is exactly the kind of thing that the Son of Saul crowd, like they think that that opinion is so wrong that it cannot be genuine. But Richard Donner genuinely thinks that, and I also genuinely think that. So yeah, it's just, head for the exit whenever you want. Don't try to let me lure you into following my bad opinions. But, it's good that I picked this because Michelle Monaghan, her, and she is actually the leading lady in Playing It Cool. Playing It Cool. The title is kind of stupid. Like it sounds like it's. It sounds like it's. Those get shorty and be cool. I think get shorty. I think it's within a touching distance of being a modern classic. Like I don't think it's maybe a case of close but no cigar. But I think it's still the kind of movie that I could quite like. Then the Be Cool sequel to it, I thought was sort of stupid. But I thought, actually didn't dislike it. I thought as far as a movie that perhaps shouldn't have been made, it was still like decent. But anyway, like Playing It Cool, it would seem like somebody, I don't know, some next generation writer or director trying to follow a minor work of Elmore Leonard's and then being semi-successful at it. I feel like Playing It Cool, like it tries to do that and it sort of achieves it. Like if you're, since we're playing, if you know this movie, Play It Again, Sam, which Woody Allen, it was based on his play, but he didn't direct it. I think Herbert Ross, he probably also did that Blacklist drama that Woody Allen did. By the way, it would be sort of hilarious if some people thought that was, like Annie Hall would be a bad movie because it's a comedy. And then the Blacklist movie, like to me, that's what I hear when people put films like Coming to America down and films like Dreamgirls up. It's like that Blacklist drama that Woody Allen was an actor in by Herbert Ross. I think he directed it. If that would be a career high for Woody Allen and Annie Hall a career low, like that's what I hear when people when they speak of dream girls, when they speak of Eddie Murphy being good. So I just want to put it there. But anyway, I feel like this Playing It Cool movie is actually very much similar than Play It Again, Sam. I don't think intentionally so. But anyway, like if you notice Play It Again, Sam, both, like the title referencing Casablanca, that kind of postmodernism, I think Playing It Cool is just neck deep in that kind of postmodernism. Like it's characters who grew up consuming pop culture, and then they like cannot walk 5 feet without making 10 pop culture references. I think that kind of connection to Play It Again, Sam is very much them Playing It Cool. And then also, if you know this, Humphrey Bogart is in this. There's in Woody Allen's mind, he sees Humphrey Bogart coaching him in getting it right in love. When he's hanging with Diane Keaton, Humphrey Bogart is there sort of handing him lines of how to score with a chick. And, he's this hard-boiled character, and Woody's obviously doing his neurotic bit. In Playing It Cool, Ryan Reynolds is sort of, I'm sorry, honest mistake, I take it back, honest mistake, Chris Evans, I apologize, Chris Evans is, sort of playing his own, like he's both trying to be the sort of neurotic Woody character, and then he's also trying to be the suave, hard-boiled Humphrey Bogart character. I think it sort of works. I think everything in the movie sort of works. The problem is that, Playing It Cool, it's a movie about a screenwriter, but I think, ironically enough, I think it's a very well-directed movie, but it's a horribly written movie. And I think, the reason why people have started hating on the indie films that have the manic pixie dream girl is that the kind of division that that a couple has one person who's all uncertainty, and then there's another person who's all certainty. So that a manic pixie dream girl is the person who has all the answers. Like there's an uncertain person say something, and then the manic pixie dream girl, at the speed of light, has all the answers that sort of fix the uncertain person. So, like, the conflict is as shallow as it can possibly. Like, there's one person saying, well, I don't know, maybe it won't work. I mean, it sounds difficult. And then there's another person, just do it, just fucking do it. I don't know, just fucking do it, I don't know, just fucking do it. Well, okay, let's do it. And then the end. Like, that's the conflict in the movie. Like, it's just, like, I think Playing It Cool, it's that kind of a story. I think it's charmingly that kind of a story. But, like, I feel like it's a movie that's self-consciously stupid. like the Anthony Mackie character comes in and basically says that, look, dude, romantic comedies aren't reality, they're our fantasy of what we wanted our life to be like. I feel like that's like the movie in a very postmodern manner addressing itself, but I feel like that's almost like the movie being an apologist for itself. So, like, I feel like Playing It Cool is a movie that's self-consciously stupid, the way that Hamlet is self-consciously crazy. But to be self-consciously crazy is different than to be sane. Just like to be self-consciously dumb is different from being smart. And, Playing It Cool, I don't think it's a smart movie. I think it's a stupid movie. But I think it has a lot of charm to it. And it's just when it feels the need to become a generic romantic comedy, I think it's pretty bad. And then the way the Michelle Monaghan character is drawn, I think I mean, when it's a generic romantic comedy, it's typically bad. And I think the Michelle Monaghan character, the way it's written, it's like uniquely bad. But then I think the overall movie, I think it's very well directed, and it has it's well cast. It has lots of sort of well chosen moments, so that everything that's wrong with it sort of is quickly forgotten, and what's right with it sort of remains. So I think like there's a there's some I don't know, just some quirky indie artist living in his van, and when Chris Evans comes to ask him for some advice in love, you see that there's a small Søren Kierkegaard picture at the front of his wall. And then he closes the door, and then when Chris Evans knocks back, the person living in the car apparently is making out with Stifler's mom. So anyway, like the contrast with that to the small Søren Kierkegaard picture, I think the film, I don't know how it worked for me, was with those kinds of little absurdities that I think managed to rise above the general stupidity and phoniness of a romantic comedy. So I don't want to sound like I'm harsh on Playing It Cool, because I actually think that it's sort of it would be in the second group of things that I can take or leave. I don't know. Like it's not something that's gonna make me change my mind about how I'm approaching cinema, but you know. I don't know. I had a good time watching it, and I'd say that it's probably like it's a movie that probably wishes that it was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but I quite like Shane Black as a screenwriter and White as a director. So I mean, like, one doesn't simply become Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Kiss Kiss Bang Bang would be Get Shorty to me, then Playing It Cool would be the Be Cool. If you understand what I'm trying to say, is that I sort of had a good time with it, but I just think that it has issues with its depth. So I think the postmodern, like, meta you know, the intertextual reference work, it's like, you know, it has surface level elaborate contribution, but it's just compensating for the total lack of depth. Like, the movie doesn't have, well, I would imagine that, I think that the movie doesn't have one moment where a character crosses a line. You know? That's what drama is supposed to be. Life is very nice and comfy, and then somebody crosses the line, and then the fucking conflict begins. Alright? That's a fucking story. Now, these kinds of shallow depth movies that don't have anyone crossing the line, it's like it's pretty useless watching them. So so that's, yeah, that's why I just started seeing modern cinema as useless. There's two banana flies that apparently dipped into my glass during this video, and now they're just floating in there. That is the kind of moment that doesn't exist in movies like Playing It Cool, because they genuinely are playing it cool. So, like, the tonality that they're willing to go for, it's, yeah, like, I don't know. What they do isn't much, but I think as far as doing little goes, I think they do it very charmingly. You know, it's a well-cast movie. It has lots of nice enough quirky moments. I sort of liked it. I don't want to pan it. But yeah, it's one movie I watched recently. So I don't know. I apologize if I merely rambled about it, but well, I tried expressing a critical stance. I hope somebody found it intelligible. So whoomp, there it is. Yeah.